Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Allow me to address you via the audio at this particular time because of the unavoidable circumstances. Samia Suluhu is an African president who is in trouble because of ascending to power using a sham election that was held last week in Tanzania. Confusion has rocked the African Union because the chairperson of the African Union congratulated Samia Suluhu the very day she was declared the winner. But later on, the African Union Election Observation Mission has contradicted the congratulatory message from the chairperson. The chairperson spoke and said the following, and I know this will be a big blow to Samia Suluhu. For those of you who didn't find the congratulatory message, allow me to take you through it before we face the report from the observers. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Mohamud Ali Yusuf, takes note of the results of the presidential election in Tanzania and congratulates His Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan for the victory. The chairperson deeply regrets loss of human life during the post-electoral protests and extends sincere condolences to the families of the victims. He underscores the imperative of upholding fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right to peacefully assemble and expression, and encourages the authorities to safeguard these rights within the framework of the law. He also calls on citizens to exercise their rights in a peaceful and responsible manner. The chairperson recalls the principles of the African Charter on democracy, elections, and governance, in particular, respect for the rule of law, human rights, fundamental freedoms, and political pluralism, which are the cornerstone of democratic and stable societies. That is the congratulatory message from the chair of the African Union. Now, what are the critical areas did the AU election observers feel that Samia Suluhu compromised the fundamental rights of a free, fair, and credible election? They said that the Tanzanian election lacks compliance. It lacks compliance, where it stated that elections failed to meet AU democratic norms and international standards. There were irregularities and fraud, observed incidents of ballot stuffing, and noted that ballot counts did not tally at some polling stations. I was in this very platform. I showed you on how people were marking ballot papers in the wake of the internet shutdown and the power blackout. Restricted environment cited the internet shutdown on and after election day, which compromised the integrity of the process. There was observer hindrance. Reported that the observers were asked to leave polling stations before counting concluded. There was also post-election violence. Explicitly, they regretted the loss of lives following election day protests. They also said that the election was uncompetitive, concluded that compared to previous elections, the 2025 general election were uncompetitive, mainly due to the opposition boycotts and disqualifications. This situation is highlighting a common tension between the political and diplomatic arms of the AU Commission and the technical assessment arm, that is the observation mission. The AU chairperson is left with the rotten egg on the face. Yeah, because you cannot congratulate a sham election and the people you sent to observe those elections decide to contradict your statement publicly. Then this one lowers your credibility as the leader of the commission. It is in the public domain, yeah, that the observer's mission issued a much more critical preliminary statement which concluded that the elections did not comply with the African Union principles, normative frameworks, or international standards for democratic election. But when you find the person who is in charge of such a union is congratulating a sham election, what picture is he painting to African countries and the world at large? So as we speak, the observers from the African Union still are having a stand that Samia Suluhu did not qualify to be sworn in as the president using the concluded general election results. That is what I'm learning from this statement. Meaning, if I told there was a better term to explain Samia Suluhu's presidency, we can conclusively say she is currently an illegitimate president who used a sham election to ascend to power. That is actually the conclusion of the AUC's statement. If you're watching this, kindly make sure you click the subscribe button and remember to turn on the notification bell. We are about to begin our journey to 500,000 subscribers. That is 500,000, because as we speak, we are already at 196,200. We have 3,800 more to go. And if we decide this one, we can be able to finish even before the night ends. 3,000 ni watu wachache. So if you're watching this, make sure you click the subscribe button and remember to turn on the notification bell. God bless you. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.